Today, I'm going to be attempting to paint on this 36 by 48 inch canvas using the biggest brush I've ever used for painting. If you've ever wanted to learn how to paint on a big canvas but felt intimidated, this is the video for you. You're going to learn how to paint something simple and beautiful on a big surface. All right, so I've got my canvas in place here, and I'm going to be using this giant brush. This is the biggest brush I've ever used, and it is 5 inches. Now, what I'm going to do is add a handle to this brush. This here will just screw in to give me a nice long handle. So I got this brush from the local hardware store. So it's just like a house paint or house stain brush. So I'm going to be attempting to use this brush, and I'm doing this for the first time. I haven't attempted the painting I'm about to paint before on a canvas this big, so I'm pretty excited about this. I don't like practicing ahead of time and planning too much out because it takes the excitement and the fun and the newness out of it for me. So I like to turn the camera on and just go for it along with you guys watching. So I'm going to use this brush and I'm going to paint up and down with a dark color first on either side, and then I'm going to come in with a light color in the center. Then I'm going to add some beautiful trees. I'm going to use complementary colors, a couple of my favorites, and we'll go from there. I think because I've been working so much lately using a lot of details and things in my paintings, I want to just do something a little simpler today. Let's see if I can stick to that. My paintings tend to, why do I feel like a farmer standing here? Like I should have a big rake or fork or something. I just started wearing these overalls. I got them the other day and I've been living in them. They're so comfortable. And I've got a little pocket here, so when I'm coming down to my studio from my house, I can fill it up with my brushes that I washed and put my little tools in. And so you're going to be seeing me wearing these a lot. I love them. They're super comfortable, and I highly recommend getting a pair of overalls. Anyhow, this brush, a few colors, and a giant canvas. Let's jump in. Okay, so I've got a few colors that I'm going to be going through with you guys. Okay, the colors I'm going to be using are Phoenix Violet. I'm going to be using 2 reds, Crimson Red, and a Neon Red. I will have the list of colors and brushes below the video in the description box. And then I'm also going to be using Bright Aqua Green. It's a beautiful shade of turquoise, my absolute favorite. Then I'll be using some Titanium White and some Lamp Black. For this painting, if you want to follow along, choose any colors that you want or anything similar to what I've got here. If you're not sure about any alternatives that you can use, just leave a question in the comments below and I'll get back to you with some great options. The first thing I want to do is wet the canvas down. Adding a little bit of water to your canvas really helps with the blending aspects of acrylics. So I'm going to take my big brush here. I know this looks ridiculous, but I think this is going to work out great. So I'm going to take some water. I'm going to run it across the top of the canvas because I know that it's going to start to run down. Oh, I can tell I'm going to like this. This is working great so far, and I hope it stays this way when I start adding some paint. And I need a little bit more just on the bottom. So I'll start here as the water's going to run down the canvas. I hope my easel can, it seems to be quite sturdy. I did get my husband to anchor it and screw it into the wall, so that seems to be helping. but it is a little bit rickety and rocky on the edges, but so far so good. While this is wet, I'm going to start coming in with some of my black. Again, you can use any black that you want. What I'm going to do is start on the left and the right, and I'm going to begin brushing up and down. Oh, this is working great. I'm so excited. Look at that instant coverage. Now this is what I mean when I say you've got to have some water on your canvas, because it really, really helps extend your paint. But beware and cautious, too much water and the paint will just run off the canvas and it'll be too thin and too watery. So now I'm going to start to work that in, fading it out, letting that paint run out of the brush and get lighter and lighter towards the center. I forgot to mention one color. I'm also going to be using some Luminous Lemon Yellow. I just saw that and noticed it, and so this color is really important because it makes the most beautiful shade of greens and yellows for this painting, which is going to help make it really pop and stand out. But I'm going to take some white now. Add that at the top, and I'm going to go up and down with that white, letting it blend in. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go up about, well, 5 inches, because that's the full width of this brush. Off the edge, I'm going to pull and sweep. I'm going to do the same thing. Pull and sweep, and then leave it nice and bright in the center. And I want the edges to be just a little bit darker, so I'm going to come in with a little bit more black and go over this once more. This is a great workout, by the way. Since I've started painting on bigger surfaces, I feel my arms and my back getting stronger. Okay, I'm gonna go wash this brush out. Okay, so I'm going to take a palette knife, some yellow, and just add that over top. I'm going to add some more white and continue along with my big brush, going up and down. this is just a water bottle, a misting water bottle, just to help with the blending. Because the acrylic paint I'm using is very, very thick. Okay, the next color I'm going to come in with is my, I've got a new bottle here, my bright aqua green turquoise. Love this color too. I'm going to apply it where I left off with the yellow. I'm going to add the water, just spray the end of my brush. That way I don't get any more of these drip marks on my canvas. I'm going to ease that turquoise into the yellow and then into the black. And down on the bottom. Then I'm going to come in on this side, do the same thing. All right, the next color I'm going to take is purple. I'm going to add a little bit there and a little bit there. So not too much purple. Again, a little bit of water on my brush. Still has some turquoise and some yellow in there. Okay, and I think that does it for this big brush. I just unscrewed the handle off of it. I'm going to go wash this out and let that dry for a little bit. Now I've got a few other large brushes here. I've got a 4-inch brush. I'm going to take a little bit more of my white and yellow and blend this out a little bit more. I like to get all these streaks in here because that kind of helps make it look more like a faded forest and trees in the distance. And it just helps overall with the feeling and the mood of this painting. Palette knife, load the end of my brush here, and add a little bit of white as well. A little bit of water. And the thing about painting on big canvases is that you're so up close to it. That's why I like that long handle, because I can paint while I'm a few steps back to see what it looks like as a whole. Okay, and then I've also got a 2.5-inch brush. I'm going to get this a little bit wet and then add some white. And I'm going to make this nice and bright here in the center. A little bit brighter than it is already. Right down in the center. little bit of water again, a little bit of the lemon yellow, the luminous, and some white. I'm going to pull it right down here to the bottom, and then side to side. I'm going to stand back, have a look. I've got another big brush here that I'm going to take. This is a 2.5 inch. I'll get it a little bit wet. And then I'm going to apply some more black. I'm going to add this along the bottom here. And then from this side. I'll add a little bit more water to my brush. And I'm going to start pulling in some lines for some trees. Now they don't have to all be super black. As long as they show up, they might be a little bit lighter, a little bit darker. As long as you can see some lines. Okay, so I'll pick a few areas to just add some really dark tree trunks. Just straight black. I'm going to be using a number 10 filbert brush now. Applying paint to my palette here. So I'm going to make some branches, and I'll just start wiggling upward and out towards the center. Okay, it's time to kind of start adding some red leaves on our trees. I'm going to be using my 2.5 brush. I'm going to tap into that red, and I'll begin on this side first, and start tapping diagonally, and then I'm going to add a little turn and a slight little scoop like this. And then I'm going to come down here on the bottom and add a little bit going towards, just narrow, using the edge of my brush, going up towards the center. And then I'm going to taper it down and make it thicker. And just lightly pull and sweep up a little bit of that red. Okay, now I'm going to come in with some more branches over top, and then I'll add some of the neon red. So I'll be taking my little filbert brush again. This is the trick to creating some nice layered effects in your forests and your landscapes that have a lot of trees. Okay, now for my favorite color, I'm going to be adding my beautiful neon red. This is Luminous Red by Holbein. I love their Luminous series. I think I'm going to use my fan brush. This is size 16. And no water at all. I'm just going to scoop up. This is like modeling paste thick. I love it. And I'm going to just start tapping it on each of these branches. And just watch the magic of the colors come to life and play on one another. And I want this to be in shadow along either side of the canvas and the trees. So I'm tapping this bright, bright red into some wet crimson red. So that's going to give me another shade or two of red, some mid-tones, I guess you could say. And then I'll ease off as I get towards the edge of the canvas so that it stays dark. But just look at these colors pop off of that turquoise, and the purple plays a role in the colors of this painting because purple and yellow are complementary colors. So we've got red and green for complementary, yellow and purple, and then we've got this beautiful black to set everything off and to create those dramatic shadows. And then our titanium white for some soft golden yellow highlights in the center. I'm going to dab some down here as well. A little bit of this neon red. I guess this is more of a fall themed painting. I've done a few versions of these types of paintings with the tall trees and the lines in the middle. You'll find those in my landscapes playlist and in my fantasy playlist. Okay, so let's go over to this side now and start applying the same process. It might be a little bit harder from this angle, so I think I'll switch up the angle for you guys so I can stand more over there. I hope seeing these videos where I use a lot of bright colors or just a lot of colors helps encourage you guys to use more in your paintings. I've got a lot of limited palette painting tutorials as well, a lot of just black and whites or sepia, and I enjoy painting those too, but I am a color addict and color is just so satisfying to use. I mean, I'm just in the zone right now using this neon red. This is what's really taking this painting to the next level for me. So remember, only a little bit on the outer edges here so that we still have that shadows gradually getting lighter and then brightest in the center. And you've got to also remember to leave some spaces in between. So you don't want to apply the highlights everywhere. You want to have some spaces in between dark, then like we've got our dark background, and then we've got our crimson red, which is drying darker now to more of like a burnt sienna or dark cherry red. And then we gradually build that up into our brightest highlight of this neon red. And I've got some left over here. I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm going to use it. I can always add a little bit more here and there, and down here on the bottom. Now I've got some more of my purple here and a large stippler brush, and I'm going to just tap my dry brush into my purple, and I'm going to add a little bit along the sides here. And a little down here as well, maybe on the inside of the tree trunks. Remember, this is going to dry darker, but it's all these little accents of colors that enrich your paintings. It is personal preference though, so maybe you prefer less color, but I always like to add a little bit more when I'm thinking about it rather than holding back. I'm never afraid of overworking it or adding too much. It's all playtime for me and I love it. As long as I'm still enjoying it, I don't worry about what it looks like in the end. I'm not painting for anybody else other than myself, but it really is about the process of creating that's so important, and it just brings so much happiness. I'm gonna add a little bit over here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of turquoise with the purple, and that'll give me a nice shade, very similar to blue violet. And I'm going to add this for some little bits of cool shadows and light on the tree trunks. Okay, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the turquoise with a hint of the purple, and that's going to give me a little bit of a lighter shade, cool bluey minty. I'm gonna mix up some green, my aqua green, with a little bit of red. Okay, I'm gonna add some neon pink. Using my fan brush, scooping up a little bit on the tip here, and I'm just gonna start applying it over part of the neon red areas. I'm gonna brush over some of the tree trunks, just a light layer of that. I'm just adding a tiny bit of this here and there for a different shade of red, more of a pinky red. We've got warm reds, and we've got a little bit of a pink tinge. The next color I'm going to add, and this is the final color, this is Luminous Violet. It's hard to see because the tube is bent. I'm almost out of it. I love this color so much. I use it all the time. And I'm going to apply it with a fan brush. And I'm going to add little hints of this over part of the purple and the darker side over here in the shadows. It's going to dry darker, and it dries with such a beautiful velvety finish. So it adds like a nice feel and texture to the paintings, as well as color. Okay, well this painting is all done. I love all the colors in this one. And you know, in the beginning of this video, I only showed you a few colors that I was going to use. That's what I planned on using, but of course, the painting took on a life of its own like it always does. I had so much fun. I lost myself in this one and used every color in the box. Let me know what you think below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.